that this river could have been so disregarded and forgotten.
After many visits to Italy, in a way that's what I like about coming to Milan, is that the history is worn very lightly here. I think it's not, you feel like you're part of the 21st century.
Qu'est-ce qu'il neige ce soir? And l'eau du robinet est-il potable?
È il momento della consegna del premio Fernanda Pivano. Richiamo ora sul palco lo scrittore Michael Chabon, Pier Gaetano Marchetti, Michele Concina, i quali consegneranno a Chabon la targa appositamente realizzata da Pomodoro.
I think more than anything else, the openness that the Italian reading public has shown toward American literature for such a long time, that I'm very grateful for.
It's an incredible honor for me to be able to hold this award that bears her name, this beautiful award that bears her name, and to thank the foundation, to thank Pivano, and to thank all of you for the incredibly generous reception that the Italian reader has always given to American literature, and it's a tradition that I would love to see continue. So thank you.
I'm sure there is still room for keeping secrets. Keeping secrets, however, is I think it's an unhealthy thing. If you have secrets, that potentially gives other people control and power over you that they lose as soon as you let the secret go. I grew up in a town called Columbia, Maryland, that was planned community. There was nothing there in 1965, and by 1970 there was an entire town. It was a kind of utopia in a way, and it existed first as a map. When I'm writing a novel, I very frequently make a map just for my own reference of the place that I'm writing about, the relation, this house, these characters live here and this character lives here. And when I wrote my book, The Yiddish Policeman's Union, it was set in an imaginary city, and I made maps of that city and the neighborhoods and naming, and the power of naming places is something I've always responded to. I've always been drawn to writers whose prose style mixes more elevated kinds of diction, more quote-unquote literary language with slang, vernacular, and that does it in a kind of with a great deal of freedom and ease. And so a writer that would be an example of that's always meant a lot to me is Raymond Chandler, the writer of detective fiction from the 1930s and 40s, who, like Hemingway, mixed in slang and contemporary American speech of the time. The fact that the United States of America elected a black man to be its president not just once but twice, both times in the face of just the most vicious kind of poisonous opposition, and by sizable margins, by clear margins of victory, I think is something to be proud of. It doesn't mean, but obviously, that we're done, okay, we're perfect, we can just stop right there. I mean, obviously, we knew that from the beginning, but it means something. From the drop of the needle to the innermost groove. It's a reference to records, vinyl records, which play a really important role in this novel. And all the way from the very beginning to the very end, Ayelet was there, as with all of my books. When the page proofs come and helping with the copy editing and all the way through the sometimes very stressful publication period, holding hands, to help someone through that can be rough. She was there for me with this book, and I just wanted to acknowledge that.